What's up? I'm Zach.
Hello, I'm Shawn, and welcome to our podcast. Make sure that you guys check out our social medias. The links will be here, and they will also be listed down below. We upload every Sunday, so make sure that you like and subscribe so you don't miss our uploads. Yeah. Zach, can you give us a small introduction on yourself, like some background?
I'm Zach. I am the owner of Really Media. I run a photography and videography business. Basically, what I end up doing is I offer services for weddings. My wife and I actually do that, Olivia. And also I do stuff for automotive. So I've been kind of doing a lot of both. Currently, I work with a dealership. I do the photo and video for their inventory, so that's fun. That's like my full-time job currently, and do that. And then the weekends, focus on the business and just trying to keep stuff growing. It's been fun. It's been a fun 2 years, kind of setting up, getting clientele coming in, and just been busy, but. Keep it going.
What about some hobbies and interests that you might have?
I actually have a bunch. So obviously with going through with the business and the automotive side, I like cars, I like cameras, I like filming, photography, all that stuff. I've been playing guitar for a couple years. That's been a lot of fun. Play a lot of video games. A lot of video games. It's been my whole life. What else? Used to skateboard.
The skating days. I remember those, dude. I remember you telling me about the post office up the street, how you'd skate there. That's sketch.
The post office gap.
Yeah, dude, if you, just knowing that, asphalt in that area, I feel like you're just landing on, Legos. It is not, a rollaway. It's, the board, you land and the board just sticks.
Yeah.
It's just you die. Does not seem fun at all.
I've been thinking about doing, getting back into skating. Mm-hmm. I know it's kind of a cliche thing, after so much time, I'm getting back into skating, but it's one thing that's kind of interested me. I've been kind of throwing that around.
Remember that one time you and I went to Reed with I forget, we had a camera. I don't know I don't know whose camera it was. I don't know what lens it was, but I remember, I remember it was the pancake lens because it had a crazy low f-stop. Mm-hmm. And I remember the lights weren't on yet. And I remember
This was at night?
Yeah, it was it was night shooting and you and I were getting shots. I don't know where that information went, but.
I'm trying to remember that.
You don't remember that? Because that was a lot of fun.
If you would have had the Canon, the pancake lens.
It might have been my T5i because I got the T5i for Christmas.
And then I think you probably texted me saying, hey, let's go hit up Reed because you wanted to use it.
Yeah. I really wanted to use it. I'm pretty sure it might have been mine. Maybe not. Because I remember you had a pancake lens for a little bit too. Did you?
I only had the 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
The nifty 50.
Yeah, nifty 50. All right, word. So what about Really Media? Can you talk on that a little bit?
Really Media, kind of go in the background. So back in high school, I was really into anything kind of camera related. As you know, we did a TV production class in high school, which was a lot of fun. And they kind of went through, and I think that was the first time really I was really using a camera. Mm-hmm. There was the old school times, when my parents had a little digital point and shoot. Yeah. I remember I used to always kind of take it, and take pictures and video and stuff like that. But in high school, they taught us all of the fundamentals with filming. Mm-hmm. And as the years went by, we got bigger and bigger projects and were able to use more stuff. Kind of fast forwarding a little bit, after going through all the projects, we end up going through and we had kind of more open projects of what we could do rather than saying, hey, I don't know, go to the zoo and, film some kind of documentary. going into the third year, they were like, here's a camera, come up with a thing, and try to create things throughout the year. And I think that's when kind of I really, I was already hooked, but being able to kind of create stuff at my own pace and what I wanted to do.
Yeah, especially at a young age like that. That's a lot of freedom. To us now, that's just life. Right, but definitely back then, because I remember that too. Remember the York Fair when we had to? Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Do you remember all the side stuff we made? All the stupid memes, dude. I got in trouble over that. The teacher, what was it, Mr. Kleindens? Remember him? He made me delete that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, remember? I like the giraffe. You remember that?
He was like,
Oh
I delete that.
Dude, it was funny. God, that was such a good time.
Yeah, we ended up going through, and around our third year, they started getting, I guess, more of a budget. And I remember they had either one or a couple of Canon 60Ds.
I remember us having one, and I also remember us having a GoPro, right when they first dropped. Speaking of dropping, you remember the kid that dropped the GoPro out of the case, and he cracked the lens?
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah,
it was the kid who didn't have fingernails. What was his name?
I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't have fingernails. It's the only way I remember him. But oh God,
I
yeah.
remember he wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, it was. We just got it. Oh God.
We were going through, and in our third year, we had kind of open things, and we had our idea. It was me and a couple friends. One of them brought up the idea of urbex, urban exploration, and there was a channel, The Unknown Cameraman, or something along the lines of that. And we had the idea of going all these places around Pennsylvania, Maryland, and all the other stuff.
Oh, there's definitely locations.
And we hit up a few places, Centralia, a couple places that were it's a supposed insane asylum, it was shut down years ago. And we would go there with these Canon 60Ds.
The school Canon 60D.
Yeah, the school Canon 60Ds, the Canon, they had L lenses, which back then were still not cheap lenses. And we would go through and kind of film, and I would get kind of all the areas, and I remember always going through the detail shots, whether it'd be graffiti or any of the kind of shut down hospitals. We would find, I don't want to say used needles and stuff like that, but I think that's really where I honed in to kind of tell a story with how the environment is very simple, kind of putting clips in together.
Kind of almost makes you feel like you're there walking with you guys.
Yeah.
It's I see surgical equipment. I know this used to be getting that idea.
And we used to, the way how we filmed it is we kind of went off that unknown cameraman thing. So we would be in the shots, but you'd never see our faces and going through, and we just kind of filmed going on these locations. It was a fun thing. I just had a camera on me, and I was able to document it and use it for a school project.
Yeah.
So that was super cool to be hey, we all get to hang out together. We get to go to these places. I get to kind of hone in my skills and kind of what I want to do, with filmmaking. And yeah, we did that. I remember at the end, I took all the videos when we had these spring shorts. And for anyone that's not sure about that, spring shorts was something where we all kind of made our own video to kind of compete against people either at the high school or in the local area. Kind of it
was just a video contest.
Yeah,
It started, it was among the students, and then I think from the schools, then they would rank them against other schools in the local area. Dude, I made a car video, and I passed, but I don't, obviously that was years ago, I don't remember, but I remember not getting a good grade, and I remember he was really critical on it, and I don't know,
That kind of bummed me out a little bit.
Yeah, because obviously his idea of a video and mine were completely different. I mean, you gotta think, back then, Shawn was dumb. Shawn had one freaking thing on my brain, and that was Honda del Sol. like I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and like I saw it.
With drift music in the background.
Yeah, dude, it was just amazing. But god dang. Anyways, my bad.
It's all good. Yeah, so we did the spring short, and I basically compiled all of the footage that we had for all these locations and made kind of like a mini doc about kind of exploring these abandoned places. And for that one, I remember I went through and like actually was in front of the camera, which I was at the time I was very uncomfortable with.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still kind of getting used to it.
I get it.
But I don't think you ever really get over it.
Yeah, I ended up going through. I made that video. It went through, and I was kind of anxious, like how I was gonna go through. But yeah, it actually for that one won best cinematography.
Dude, nice.
And when that happened, I was so surprised about it.
Dang.
That really kind of boosted, my what am I thinking of?
Like your confidence.
Yeah, I don't want to say ego, but yeah, my confidence with it. And sadly, after that, when we graduated and I ended up leaving for the Air Force, I didn't really touch into it that much.
Oh, I mean, I get why you were busy.
Yeah, busy with that stuff.
So like, was that like, do you think having that foundational level like evolved into really media? Like, did that like start like a snowball or avalanche? You know what I mean? Like, did it like snowball effect into like, because obviously like really media, like you do video. It's primarily photography, I think, right?
Yeah, for right now, I do both, but it's primarily photography, and then on the video side, it's just kind of whether it's like a wedding video or other things we have kind of pop up.
That's pretty nuts.
With it kind of snowballing, so after that, I realized that I liked this, but I didn't have any gear.
Yeah.
And I remember my first job that I ended up going through, like first couple paychecks, I saved up and I bought like a used Canon T3i. At the time I saw it was a lot cheaper than the other ones, just good condition, but it was definitely used. Bought the little Canon Nifty 50. And then that's when I kind of got more into the whole photography side.
Yeah.
Didn't really do too much videos because it was difficult with the like crop factor and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But fast forward a little bit, when I was in the service stationed out in Vegas, I had that camera and I mostly used it just for myself for kind of automotive photography, for my car. And then sometimes for other things, like if we had like any kind of car meets out there, I would use it. But I didn't really dive into it. And then it kind of went into, in the far future, I ended up like buying a different lens at the time, like my first like zoom lens. And I used it for it was like a track day at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And I took that out there and I watched YouTube videos about like panning shots and everything. And kind of did homework beforehand and going to the actual event.
That's pretty cool.
And that, I think, I was hooked with taking photos of my own car, but going through with the track day and doing that and seeing results of like kind of cheaper gear that I had and all the stuff, I think that's what really hooked me onto the automotive side. Fast forward a little bit after that. After 7 years, I decided to leave the Air Force, came back, and I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I think at that time, I really realized, like, hey, this is something that's been in my life for a while. Yeah, I haven't really jumped into it, but I was like, I enjoy doing this.
Oh, definitely.
A lot of people will say, like, the perfect job that you want is something that you don't consider a job, something you enjoy doing. And I had the idea of starting Really Media. At first, it was for automotive stuff. It's going on online, trying to.
You had some luck with that, though, right? You had someone pay you some cash early on.
Yeah, I've shot photos for a couple people's cars and like car shows and stuff like that. I know going on like Facebook asking like, hey, I'm doing like paid photo shoots when I really started getting into it. I actually had one guy hit me up and going through, which I was super excited about. And the funny thing was, like, I was thinking, like, I'm not saying it was going to be like a Nissan Sentra on cut springs or something like that, but he was like, I asked him, I was like, what kind of car do you have? Because I like to kind of see what car it is, do a little bit.
Good idea, that one.
And he just told me it's a Porsche Cayman. So I'm like, the Porsche Cayman's still sick. I'm not going to say commuter car, but I was like, oh, okay. And we ended up finding a place that's real popular here in central Pennsylvania, Glen Rock Ruins.
Okay, Glen Rock what?
Ruins?
Ruins? I
Yes.
don't know what the name is. I was gonna ask you.
Or some people call it like graffiti. I don't know.
It's very graffiti heavy there. It's very colorful.
Yeah, and he came up with the location because he saw photos of back when I had the Type R, and there was one photo that caught his eye. Just from that one photo, he wanted to go through and do the photo shoot, and his thing is like, you can do whatever you want. It's like, if I can just kind of get that same shot, you know, going forward,
Dude, that's awesome.
then, you know, I'll be good. So I go there, I'm thinking Porsche Cayman, and I got there shortly after him, and I pull up, and it's like a bluish purple Porsche Cayman, probably somewhere like 2020 GT3, and I was like, I remember pulling in there, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. I've been trying a while to actually get a paid photo shoot, and this guy fully trusted me going through, and I was like, I kind of felt like I was not unqualified, but it was like, it's like a really good sports car.
It kind of felt like a celebrity in the room, I guess. Almost like, yo, I'm at the red carpet right now. like you said, like, you know, maybe like, you know, like a Porsche, like whatever.
Yeah.
But no, like, yeah, I saw the pictures. Amazing. Amazing car and like great work and everything.
It was definitely, I had some pressure on me, and even now, kind of looking back, I'm like, oh, I could have done that different and that different, but you know, for what I know, like, he liked the photos, and it was a really good experience, and that kind of gave me a little more confidence.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Was that like when you were like kind of, how do I say this without sounding dumb? Was that when you were like, okay, like this is a business, like I could do this?
I think so, yeah. Because for a while, at least in the automotive world, for at least my experience, it's really hard to get in and to have people pay for it.
Oh yeah, especially around here.
Yeah, which I get. I'm like, people are paying, you know, still paying car loans, you know, parts.
Everything.
With how the economy is now, like, it's tough. And for someone to be like, hey, I'll take photos for an hour for, you know, 100, $150. A lot of people are like, yeah, I like his work, but I don't want to pay for it.
No, I totally get it. It'd be like, it's a luxury. That's a luxury to have.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that luxury money, but dude, that's like really cool. So
The kind of fast forwarding, I still do automotive stuff now. I'm really trying to build my portfolio more, you know, get more cars, more stuff like that. A lot of people kind of look down on it, but I'm like, hey, at least for 2023, like, I want to do stuff for free in the automotive. You know, hopefully I really want to try to go and get to like motorsports events, or even if it's a track day or autocross, kind of get in there and kind of just get more things for my portfolio. Because I have those old photos back in Vegas. Like I said, it was T3i, you know, kind of cheaper zoom lens. But I'm like, I want to take the knowledge and the gear that I have now and see like what I can kind of create with that.
So like, with Really Media now, what are you trying? What is your main customer with Really Media?
Right now, oddly enough, I know we've been talking about cars and stuff, but my main thing is we've been doing. My wife and I have been doing weddings.
Okay.
So currently, we offer services for wedding photography and for videography, and mostly just out of the kind of you know, in Pennsylvania, more central PA. Been doing that for over a year, and actually had fair share of clients. Had a couple weddings, both photo and video, and kind of built up to like get paid, you know, to get more gear and more things. And kind of recently, my wife Olivia, she was going through, and she now actually, like, at first it was kind of like she was like, I'm going to do all the admin stuff, you know, which she does take the majority of it. And I kind of pushed her a little bit because I know she has a really like creative, artsy side.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, to put it in short, I gave her a camera the one day. We were like, we won't charge extra for you to do this stuff. And I could tell that she really liked doing weddings and like engagement sessions.
I could see Olivia really getting into that.
And she's learning quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She's actually like, she's doing like a really good job. You know, she enjoys doing it. She's learning with it. That was kind of like a out of nowhere thing. We weren't like, for business plans, that wasn't really a thing. I didn't think that she was really going to be interested in it. But yeah, she's doing it now. Like she did a full wedding, not the whole day, but like as like a second photographer for a wedding with close friends of ours, and she did good.
That's awesome. Sick. Really, media sounds like a lot of fun. So, me, Shawn.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay. So, a little bit about my background. So, obviously, like 6 years in the Air Force as an aircraft mechanic. You know, currently, I'm at Penn State and I'm studying for cybersecurity. I'm finding that for like some like hobbies and stuff, I've kind of like dove headfirst into the world of computers. On this the laptop we're on right now, actually, I have a VM that runs Kali Linux, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I don't know what I'm doing, but like it's really fun when you're like trying to like brute force stuff, and like I know I'm gonna get in trouble.
Break things to figure it out. Yeah.
It's pretty fun. So trying to like bust my way through the world of computers. It's a crash course. So, but it is kind of fun because like a lot of my major classes and everything that I've been taking, I'm in a couple so far, and you know, I'm at that foundational level. Like I'm learning how the internet works. I'm learning how computers speak to each other, and it is actually very interesting. It's very dry, yes, but like at the end of the day, like it's nice to know, you know, how hardware interacts with other hardware across the world and how it all talks.
Yeah.
Some more hobbies. I'm also in the cars, which we all know. I've had quite a few in my 27 years on this planet. Way more than the average 27-year-old should have. I've spent a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. I've lost way more money than I've spent. That is guaranteed. Shout out to the Mazda. You know, since I do work part-time, I am going to school on my GI Bill. So I've been working part-time, and just for another like side income, I don't want to say side hustle. It's so...
I'm gonna call it side hustle. Shawn's side hustle.
Yeah, I've been hustling Pokemon cards on the side. Nah, I've had a few individual cards that I've bought and sold over the past, I would say 6 months. But I actually had my first big sale of Pokemon collection. I've been doing that. I'm really enjoying it. I'm actually, what's up?
What kind of got you into that? Like,
What got me into it?
was it?
So obviously, like, over COVID and everything, Pokemon popped off, and like really anybody, just the nostalgia of it. And I saw like it's something like exactly what you said earlier. Like it's not really work, you know what I mean? It's just like these look sick. Like honestly, the collection I bought, I dropped $600 on that collection, and 2 weeks later I turned it for $9. And like I didn't want to sell it though. That was the thing. I was like, dude, these cards are sick. Like I like them. I like everything about this. But hey, man, like I had to get that out of my head. So, yeah, Pokemon's fun. Some other stuff that I'm kind of into is I don't do it so much anymore. But Like when I used to live overseas. When I lived in South Korea, I got really into graffiti. Graffiti everywhere. I have a lot of stickers. I placed a lot of slaps all over South Korea, even within the York area as well.
Still the same ones you use in Korea, or is it different?
Oh, they're way better now. So I have a lot of stuff across the local area, and it is fun. Like I said, I've been very, very busy, especially because now we're doing this podcast, and I'll eventually get into my other stuff, but I do Twitch and other YouTube content as well, on top of full-time school and working. I work third shift over the weekends. It's getting rough, you know what I mean? But hey, gotta grind, you know what I mean?
Gotta hustle.
gotta hustle, brother. But
I think one thing, like we've both been very busy.
oh yeah.
I've definitely like really seen with a lot of stuff that you've been doing, whether it's different jobs, Twitch, Pokemon cards, a lot of other stuff. I've been I've seen that. It's like, yeah, you've been busy.
I appreciate
College.
Yeah, dude. On top, school is 95% on top of being married. So you know what I mean, like, and friends and family, like. Dude, I feel so guilty sometimes because it's like I won't see you for like a month or a month and a half straight. I mean, dude, honestly, like, there's a lot of people that I was very close with like 3 years ago, and now it's just like I don't even talk. Like I could probably start that relationship again, but I mean, we grow up, we're busy.
I think definitely in this part of our lives, a lot of people kind of grow apart because they get busier. A lot of us, they start families and a lot of other stuff. We're both busy, and I know I've said before, like if you're busy for a bit or if I'm busy for a bit, like we both understand that, and we're at kind of like the mutual conclusion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're mature about it. You know what I mean? Like it's like I know Zach works his butt off, and he knows I work very hard as well, and I haven't had anyone necessarily get upset with me that I'm not hanging out with them, because I think they understand.
In our head, we automatically think, oh, they're upset or annoyed.
It's like I just don't want them to possibly think that. But even if they did think that, would I want them to be my friend? Because they would have to understand, like, yo, there's only 24 hours in this day.
And you're doing full-time college.
Yeah, full time.
Like a lot of people just doing full-time college, especially people like out of the military, like that'll take up all their time. Oh, yeah, they're like, oh, I gotta study, gotta go to classes.
It's full-time college, and on top of that, I'm trying to graduate a few semesters earlier. So, so this summer semester is gonna hit, and I should be able to knock out the rest of my gen eds, and then, when the fall semester hits next year, I should actually be in my major. So, that was basically 2 years in like a little less than a year and a half. So, yeah, dude, we've really been working hard, and like I have Misty by my side. Misty's my wife, Misty's by my side, and she's really been like pushing me hard, and like she's like my cheerleader. Like I love it. She's like the motivation, because on top of that, she's in her master's, and she works full time with a master's, so it's nuts. But anyways, I just wanted to touch on like the streaming real quick, if that's cool. But like
No, the floor is yours.
yeah, dude, word. So I do also stream every. Right now, this semester, it's every Tuesday under the name Elbow Nuggets on Twitch, twitch.tv.
I'm sure probably.
Okay, it'll be somewhere over here. But anyways, I do stream on Twitch. I've been doing that. I finally have. How do I say this? So when I lived in South Korea, I would do a lot of IRL streams, and I'll eventually get into this later on in our later videos. But when it came to Twitch, I moved home, and we were back and forth trying to find a place to live, this and that. Couldn't really stream, but I was trying to put out some YouTube content. And I started a channel named SOFO King Proper, right? Yeah. So it was kind of like funny, and it wasn't really anything serious. And,
like laid back life of Shawn.
Yeah, honestly, like I had some free time, and I have an iPhone. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so I'm like I did really like low effort videos and I liked them. Like it was a lot of fun. So really enjoyed that. But that channel is kind of put on hold for right now. Maybe I'll pick it back up. I just feel like that type of content I'm almost like moving on from. Like I'm not trying to be funny anymore. Like I'm just trying to like make good content.
I didn't tell you, but probably like a week ago, I was going through some of your old videos, you know, when we started talking about the podcast, you know, I was like just curious going through. And it's very much so that kind of Vine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Vine energy.
yeah,
That's
Vine
exactly
energy.
dude, you nailed it right on the head. That's exactly what I tried to that is exactly what I tried to hit.
And you don't see it as much now, but there is that, as crazy it is to say, that kind of nostalgia factor to Vine, you know.
And honestly, that's actually what got me into making videos was Vine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You got to think.
You went hard when you had that when that happened.
You remember like it was what? When did Vine drop? Like 2012 around that cuz we graduated at 13. So
I think so.
So around that time, like we were like, dude, it was like maybe like 3 or 4 videos a day I was putting out, and
Yeah.
like it was crazy. There was like this small online group that I kind of like got sucked into, and we would just like make videos at each other, and it wasn't for like it was just because we were just it was fun, like it was nuts. But that's what got me into it, and then obviously we grow up, made some YouTube content throughout like my Air Force time, but obviously way too busy. And then land in South Korea and I started streaming and under Elbow Nuggets, and great. Then that has evolved into where I am now, which is I feel like when I lived in Korea, like the streaming was like my practice. I got affiliated. I understood how to like set up OBS and like all this other stuff. That was my training. And now I land back in the States and it's like, all right, just stream, have a good time, enjoy it. And that's what I've been doing.
I feel like, sorry, I feel like when, especially like when you were in Korea and you were streaming, because you were doing a lot more, you seemed to be very comfortable. Like
I was, dude. I was so that time in my life, like you gotta think, like I started streaming when Misty left. So she left maybe 4 months before I did. So I'm just like hanging out in the middle of nowhere, South Korea. Like I wasn't in Seoul. I was in the literal middle of nowhere. And old buddy of mine, his name's Q. Shout out Q. That's a homie. Him and I would just walk around at like 3 a.m. Like, dude, I didn't drink. I didn't do anything. Like, I had such a clean diet. Like, I literally, like, my diet consisted of kimbap, like, tuna kimbap.
Sounds good.
Oh, it was good. Water and coffee. Americano. Like, just straight massive Americanos.
Yeah.
And, dude, like, my metabolism was nuts. Like, I think I dropped down to, like, in the 120s. And I'm not tall, so I'm like 5'8". Dude, I was like extremely underweight. I was not healthy. But like I felt good though. Like I felt alive and like but anyways, come home and I still want to do Twitch because it's fun because I worked myself into the small group of streamers and it's really fun to support them and have them support me and like mingle and have fun. But I really want to hit YouTube harder and I just feel like with my schedule it works better.
I think
because I know off camera, like we talked about this. I said about you kind of switching over to YouTube.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like when they switch platforms, they're really scared that they're going to lose that kind of viewer base or followership.
Yeah.
But like if someone's an OG or if they like your stuff,
Exactly. Yeah.
as long as you kind of push for that, you know, link down below.
Dude.
Like people follow it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, maybe not
I do agree.
everyone, but I mean, if you get like 90%.
Yeah. It was not bad. Actually, dude, I was streaming 2 weeks ago. 2 Tuesdays ago, I'm streaming. Old name pops up in chat, and I was like, oh my goodness.
on YouTube,
No, on Twitch.
on Twitch.
And they subbed. I was like, oh my god, I haven't heard that, like, because I have like a custom noise that pops off when someone subs, and I haven't heard that in so long. And I was like, it hit me. Like, I was like, boom. I was like,
So someone that was just in the chat, every once in a while, like they would say something.
yeah, they
and
come once in a while. Back in like a year ago, and then now instead of streaming pretty consistently again, they popped in. They're like, "Oh my God, Shawn,
He's back."
I was like, "Yeah, I'm still alive. Don't worry." And then they popped with the sub, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, that's right. I forgot like you could do that. Like
How was your very first sub?
my very first sub, I'm not gonna lie, early on it was very weird because it was like I kind of formulated a stream team. It was me, these two Dutch dudes, a girl from Australia, and there was another guy. He was from Malaysia, and I want to say that was it. So what we would do back then, I think you still can nowadays, I don't know, you could raid. Like, you know, I have 15 people watching, and then we raid someone. No one really raids anymore. But back then you could host. So I would always host them, they would always host me, blah, 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 or we'd raid each other.
Like, I'm not gonna say like everyone feeds off each other, but like you get viewers and then like, oh hey, I'm done, so you pass it on.
You know, it's like you don't want to put down the Twitch app. Well, here's it's a really good friend of mine. I watch them, you know, all the time. I'm mad cool with them. You know, here it is. So you pass your 10, 15 people onto the Australian girl, and then from there, and then, you know, their followers kind of like get to know you, and, you know, stream team. It was really nice, and it worked very well. Unfortunately, a lot of those people stopped streaming. So, but I mean, that happens, not a big deal. You know, just got to try to form another one. But it took a lot of effort to do that. But that's kind of.
Did you guys ever like collab, or was it just the rate?
I'll get there, but let me answer your question first.
Okay.
So, what was it like when someone first subbed? It was weird, and it was because it was someone from the stream team. So, it was like me giving you like $10 for like no reason. But it's like, hey, you know, be grateful for it because you're starting off, you know?
That's true.
Because I just got affiliated, and they were like, they're like, I want that #1 badge. I want to be that first 10 people to sub to you. So here's my sub.
So then, what about like the next sub, like someone, because you're saying a lot of them might have been like regulars in chat, you know, they went through and subbed. What about like that first person that you're like, you looked at the name, you're like, I don't know you, and they subbed. Like, was that weird, or you're like, oh, cool, you know? How'd you take that?
Honestly, dude, like I never had many subs. I had up to 50 at one point, and I pulled in like $150 one month from Twitch, and I was like, yo, this is sick. Yeah.
Which is good, because you said you were doing it for 4 months.
I literally did it for 3 to 4 months. Like, yeah, it was very quick. It happened real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, what that was like, it just kind of like, I'm not gonna say it felt normal, no, but it was just kind of like, whoa. Like, I remember like after that happened, right, like first like a real sub, and then like I remember getting that like $150, and I remember thinking to myself, I remember like being on the phone with Misty, like this is nuts. Like, you can actually, that was the first time ever I actually got like an internet attention. And I'm not saying I'm out here like, hey, look at me on the internet over here, look at me. No, but it was just like I put a lot of hard work into that. Like, I would stream for like an hour and a half, and I would just walk around town, right? And then it was cool because a lot of people liked South Korea. People love South Korea, and like, it's, hey, come walk with me, come hang out.
I think definitely even here in the States, like, South Korea doesn't really get too much of a light.
And honestly, like actual South Korea, like when you say South Korea, what do you think? Oh, I think BTS, okay? Like, no duh. Like, okay, yeah, right? So like for example, quick example, the majority of people, at least how I feel, they think about Korea, it's like, oh, K-pop. Because I mentioned I hired a math tutor because I'm in calculus this semester, RIP me. It sucks, but we're blasted, we're fine, off topic. So I told my math tutor, we didn't know each other. I was like, you know, I really like Korean like rappers, and he's like, yeah, I know like the one girl in the group's usually like a rapper. I'm like, no, I mean like rappers, like Ep.1, like freaking Nafla, Loopy, like all these dudes, and like actual rappers. Like, they're not K-pop. Like, stop. But it's that general idea, and like I feel like, because I would my last week was like my favorite stream in Korea. My last week in Korea was my absolute favorite stream. And I was in a city called Busan, and I was in Busan, I was in Haeundae Beach. And I just walked around. It was freezing. It was so cold. But I just walked around. Just walked. Did nothing. Walked around, and like the relevance in that is that was my first city I ever visited in Korea.
Okay.
So it was like I stayed across the street from
Like kind of like a vacation in your eyes, or
yeah, it was like my final like hoorah, thank you South Korea for like a good like almost 3 years. It was a
Yeah.
little like over 2.5. So like I'm just gonna say 2.5. So it was like I loved it, and it was a big part of my life. So like that last stream was amazing, and that was like really like when I started my break. You know what I mean? And then I moved home, transitioned to school. This had a lot going on, and then now we're streaming again. So
you have access to like those last streams, right?
yeah, I actually had an Instagram account for the stream, and I would save all my clips and I'd upload them to Instagram. So I have them.
Do you ever go through and like kind of rewatch?
All the time. I found out on Instagram that you can look at your old stories, all of them.
Really?
You can look at all of them.
I don't know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I found that out.
Go back early Instagram stories, like
like you can go back 2 years about, you know what I mean? And I remember looking at them thinking like, I need to download all this. Like I need to save it all because like put it on a hard drive. So when I'm like super old and laying in bed, can't move, I'm gonna be watching these podcasts. I'm gonna watch my YouTube content, my old Twitch stuff, my old Instagram, and be like, man, life was good, you know. And that's the end of the podcast. All right, dude, we good?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Bye.
Bye.